Okay, we're ready to roll.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate everybody who's here. I'm kind of a little nervous to be hosting this. I haven't really done this except for my own little team in Prince Edward Island. So I'm Tara McCarthy, for you who can't read my name at the bottom of this. And I think I know most of you, I've seen you on here before, but I'll just tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll introduce my teammate here tonight. So I'm a veterinarian in Prince Edward Island. I'm a mother of 2 little kids, and my husband runs a CrossFit gym. So we're pretty busy. I started Isagenix close to 3 years ago now, and like many of you, was extremely skeptical of it all, but I was thoroughly exhausted. Really just couldn't get out of my own way, wanted to sleep all day, and was crashing after the kids went to bed at 7 o'clock at night. I was miserable, unhappy. I wasn't exercising very much at all. I had no energy to do that. And it was just kind of a negative cycle of how I was feeling. So I had been introduced to Isagenix by a few different people, and I just immediately shut it down. My mother up to me, but we never listened to our parents, unfortunately. So then one of my best friends brought it up. She had a very similar situation where she had 2 small children and was tired, and she's like, just give it a shot. I still said no, but she got me on the phone with Paul Beyondich, who's on our team, and I was able to learn a bit about the science and the products, and at that point I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And yeah, honestly, 5 days, the brain fog cleared. I had so much energy. I was sleeping better, and I became happier just because I felt so much better, and that just changed the whole dynamic in my family. Everybody else became happier. I started working out again. At that point, before Isagenix, I wasn't doing CrossFit. I didn't have the energy, and I kind of was just a bit bitter about the whole thing. So, but I had the energy to start doing CrossFit, and then it's just kind of been a positive cycle with that. My fitness has gotten to the point where last year in the CrossFit Open, I was 25th out of 800 women in the Maritimes, and I'm the fittest I've been in my life. And yeah, and I've met a lot of other awesome people, like somebody I'm going to introduce you here too, but it's just completely changed our lives, not just physically, but just happiness wise. And then obviously the business has brought not even the financial side of it, but just getting to know all of you guys and the people that have come into my life. It's really enriched my life in way more than I could have ever imagined. So that's my story. And I'm really excited that I get to bring on Pam Paquet. She is somebody I got to meet through Isagenix. She is an amazing mom and a teacher, and she's a marathon runner. She does CrossFit, and she has basically blown it out of the water. She was our Masters Athlete of the Year for our gym this year. She's an awesome, awesome woman, and a very good friend of mine now. I'm going to pass it over to you, Pam. You got to take yourself off mute. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. Like Tara said, I'm Pam Paquet, and I began using Isagenix last April. Within a few days, I noticed the difference that I was feeling, especially throughout my workday. Like Tara said, I'm a primary school teacher at the largest primary school here on PEI. We have over 674 to 8-year-olds at my school. And I do have to say that it can become quite chaotic at times at the school. I teach French immersion to Anglophone kids, so my days are filled with a lot of drama and also a lot of nonstop action, especially when you're teaching French. Usually I begin my day with the organic coffee, and just before I leave for school, I take the Isagenix, which keeps me energized and clear-headed for the rest of my day. I usually also have a shake for breakfast, which also keeps me energized all morning, I have to say, and full. Right now, I rely on the amp line to help with my CrossFit workouts and my running. I've had PBs in the 10K and the half marathon, and with the help of the e-shots. And this year, I want to really qualify for Boston Marathon, for the Boston Marathon next year. So I have already began my training for spring marathon. I usually take the power before CrossFit, and depending on the workout at the CrossFit gym, I also take an e-shot. I've also had a few PBs at CrossFit. I have a 14-year-old daughter, Emma, and usually she has a shake for breakfast. And on occasion, she'll have a glass of greens. She tells me that she really likes her shakes, and she rarely eats any, like, her snacks that we pack in the mornings. So usually she'll have her shake before she leaves for school around 7:30, and then she'll have her lunch around 12:30 or so. And for most of the morning, she is full. I've also started experimenting now a little more with the protein powder. I use the protein powder in homemade pancakes and protein bars. I was telling Tara over the last few weeks that now I think I'm ready to share my Isagenix experience with everyone that I know. So in early March, I decided that I would try and plan a little mini event in my hometown of Tignish, which is about 2 hours west of Charlottetown. And for those of you who may know Stompin' Tom Connors, that's the little village that he grew up in. So I'm trying to get a flight to Toronto for the red and white celebrations. I just decided to go to the red and white over the weekend. But I have to tell you all that I am attending the big celebrations in Las Vegas this August because I already have my ticket. So that's about all for now, I think. It was really great sharing my little story with all of you, and I hope to meet all of you again very soon, maybe in the next 2 weeks.
That's awesome. Thanks, Pam. That was awesome. You did great.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Yeah, Pam's amazing. No, you did awesome. And I'm pumped that she's coming to Toronto to meet everybody. She just decided. So we're just working out the details here today to come. So awesome. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, Pam is like an incredible, obviously incredible woman. She's an incredible athlete. Like, she blows me away what she can do. So, awesome. I guess I will just get into it because I know we don't have a ton of time. Although I'm nervous, so I'll probably speed talk and blow right through this. So tonight, I am just going to talk a little bit about creating happy customers. I have pretty good retention with my product users and my customers, so I thought I would focus on that tonight, since a huge part of our business is customers. How many people here, like, you can show hands or write in the chat box, but you feel like you could use a little bit better retention with your customers, or you feel like you're pretty good at that? Yeah, cool, awesome. Well, I'm just going to go through a few things that I do with mine, and I'll try not to keep it dry. There's obviously some things that a lot of you probably already implement, but maybe you can catch a few little tips here. So, just with the numbers side of it, 85% of everybody that jumps into Isagenix is just going to end up being a happy customer, and that's awesome, right? There are people, and we want to give them really great customer service, and so that's kind of what I'm going to focus on. 10 to 12% of people will be accidental business builders. They might cycle a few times through the year, and then a small 5% of people are going to be true business builders. So a huge percentage of people are your customers. So to create long-term change in anybody's life, they need to kind of implement it into the lifestyle, right? And most people can't do that without support, which is why Isagenix works so well because we have a really great support network. But in order to allow them to implement that into their lifestyle, you really have to be that support for a little while, so that they get to understand that. So the things that I focus on for customer service, I guess from the get-go, is the first thing is knowing their goals. So this is obviously starting in the prospecting stage, but really talking to people, knowing exactly what their goals are and why, and picking the right pack for them, whatever it is their needs. Like, yes, we all want to make PIBs and stuff, but honestly, you have to kind of put that out of the way and pick the best thing for them in their situation, and really explain to them the value of these things. So of all the products that are going to benefit them. And give them realistic expectations before you ever sign them up too, you know, like with the packs and with their goals. Like if I have a lot of weight to lose, or like I deal with a lot of athletes that want to start improving their performance, but I give them realistic expectations. You know, they're not going to start lifting 100 pounds more in 2 months. The second thing is knowing the products, and the best way to do that is to use them yourself. And get familiar with them. And even if you're new and you're just starting to share this with people, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know the products that you're using, because the people that you sign up are just going to be using those same ones, and then you slowly integrate more and more products, and you'll learn those as you go. And you don't need to be a product expert, but you have a lot of people in your team that you can utilize, right? We have a lot of healthcare practitioners. Michelle and Renata and Paul and Tina, like they're all really good product experts. And so use that if you don't know the stuff yourself. Sorry. How many of you guys feel like you are pretty good cleanse coaches? Like when you get people started, you're pretty good at it. You're fairly familiar with it all. Yeah, good, awesome. And that's really important. So really, you need to know 3 to 5 things. I'm a total product nerd. When I got started, I listened to all of Paul's calls. I got on everyone he did and all of his webinars. I wanted to know everything about the products, but not everybody does. But you really just need to know 3 to 5 main things about the products. And obviously the websites, where to direct people to find the information that they want. Yeah, that's that. So once you have somebody signed up, I'm just going to go through kind of the customer checklist. I know Isagenix business has a customer checklist that is fairly similar to what I follow. So I'll just kind of quickly go through that and give you my little points here. But so as soon as I sign someone up, I'm going to send them the welcome email, and everybody should kind of have their own personal template that they use that fits your style. You would all have one from the person who enrolled you, and then you can just modify it to make it more you, and send that immediately to them, CCing at least one person in your team. And in my welcome email, there's just a few things that I don't make it too long and dragged out. I try and keep it to the point, but I always mention auto ship. I always mention healthy mind and body, Isabody, and give them some website information that they can check out while they're waiting for the box. So at that point, I just leave it. I tell them to give me a message as soon as their box arrives, which most of you guys do as well. As soon as their box arrives, I tell them to message me, and I give them a call that night, and we go through the whole box together. So if they have questions in that intermediate period, like when they haven't received their box, I just tell them that I'll go through everything the night that they get their box, and I spend more going through their box and their website. I basically don't tell anybody anything unless I have time to tell them everything. I also do a walkthrough of their online account. And I only show for the cost savings, but that they would use wholesale sometimes if there's seasonal shakes. I show them their placement tree just in case the time ever comes where they want to share this with people. And I show them, because sometimes they've already accumulated some points, right? Because there's been about 5 days from when they signed up to get their box till they get their box. So, and how that can turn into money if they choose to. Under the resources, I show them healthy mind and body, because I really think that is such an important thing that we can utilize with our people to give them good results long term. And then the Isabody challenge. And I try to get all of my people to do Isabody challenge just because I think it's so great. Also, it increases your retention, and it also increases their order basket long term as well. So it's really just about giving people control. I just want them to be completely comfortable and confident and not feel like they're in some weird thing that they're stuck to. Somebody mentioned to me the other day, it's like, oh, it's like Columbia when you could order CDs every month. And it kind of is, but I don't want people to think it's like this weird thing. So once they know that they can move their auto ship, they don't have to have it every month. They can move it 2 months. It puts them at ease and they're much happier. At the same time, on that same phone call, I do the 14-day talk that I like a different version that Tracy O'Malley does, but I think that's really, really important to set people up with proper expectations. At that same time, in the 14-day talk, I go through the side effects that they might experience, and I get pretty like real about that with the side effects, and I talk about constipation and that kind of stuff, which, you know, just so people know. And I tell them to let me know immediately the first time they're feeling anything abnormal, to let me know, and we'll deal with it right away. And I think that really helps, like, just so they know, like, I've already talked about poop, so they're be like, okay, cool, we'll talk about poop if we have to. And then after that, so you get everybody set up. It's really important to be posting on Freedom Tribe, on our group. And so you want to be posting Isagenix stuff as well as non-Isagenix stuff. But everything that I post in Freedom Tribe is related to my new cleansers. So like, I'm going to have a handful of new cleansers at one time. And I'm always thinking about what their goals are, what they signed up for. And I post related things for those people, because they're the ones that are like, this is all new. They want to check out what you're posting. And so they're going into that group. And so I utilize that group to use for my new cleansers and sometimes my prospects, but just the first month or so that they're there, I post stuff specifically for them. And then I might tag them in an article that I post or whatever. And it just lets them know, like, this is the place they can come to find out information. Lastly, I guess, and the other thing I want to show, I have this piece of paper. It's not anything fancy, but I have like my welcome email, my walkthrough, my Facebook groups, Isabody, Healthy Mind, like all the things, and then the people's names, and then the checks. But you can see these pink lines I just highlighted. This is my, like, the last few months or whatever, people that I signed up. But the pink lines are people that I didn't do all the stuff with, because sometimes it's hard to get people on the phone and they're just like, won't do it. Like, they have their stuff and they don't want to do it. And they're like, no, I'm good. So eventually you're like, okay, this isn't happening. But all of these people that I didn't get to do it with, these people don't turn into good customers. Like, all of these people maybe use them for a month or two and are really kind of sporadic. And so I don't worry about it. But everybody else, like 3/4 of the people on there, I went through and I did every single thing, and they're still using consistently. So it does go to show you do kind of need a standard operating procedure in your business with that sort of thing. The last thing I guess I wanted to mention that I think really helps with your long-term retention, not just the first couple of months, is your follow-up. And I know we always say fortune's in the follow-up for prospecting, but it really is fortune in the follow-up for your customers as well. So as a veterinarian, we have a default setting. Every appointment that I go into, whether it's for vaccines or an emergency or a certain problem, we have a default that has a 3-day follow-up call for that patient, and I can change if I want it the next day or in 2 weeks or whatever, but it's always there. So everybody I see every single day is going to get a follow-up call at some point in the near future. And so I guess because I'm used to doing that, I keep my follow-ups with people consistently. So obviously all of us follow up their first cleanse day, maybe their second cleanse day, maybe all their cleanse days in their first month. Before their auto ship, kind of their second month, I do the same thing. I stay pretty consistent with people. I also utilize three-way calls, even though I'm pretty comfortable with products and helping people with specific issues. I do three-way calls with Michelle. It helps when people are having little issues, just little snags here and there, to hear somebody else give them advice. So that makes a huge difference too, just so they know that they have other people to reach out to. Even though a lot of times I feel like I could answer them, I just want them to talk to her because she says it in a little different way, and she's, you know, and they like that, and it really does pay off. So I find a lot of times I'll do that around the 3-week mark, kind of before the first auto ship, when they might be not having the results they thought they would, or they're still kind of tired, or sometimes it's into the second month that I'll do that. But I do that a lot. I would say with 60 or 70% of my people. And it just gives that sense of community too. But with the follow-up as well, I follow up consistently with all of my customers every 6 to 8 weeks. So even if they've been using the products for 2 years, I continue to keep a relationship with them. And it's not always about Isagenix. I just drop them a line and see how life is going. And sometimes they're going to give you clues in their email back to you if stuff's going on that you can say, hey, maybe you should try this. It might help, you know, if you're having sleep issues or if you're having like stress issues. So I always am keeping on top of everybody that way. And it's just about building friendships and relationships, because ultimately you want everybody you sign up to become a friend and have a lifelong relationship with them. And then I guess the last thing is celebrating people's wins. So when they write you little notes, or when you ask them how things are going and they've lost, you know, 3 pounds or they've lost 30 pounds, whatever it is, make a big deal about it. Sabrina is awesome at that in our group. She's great at celebrating people. I do it kind of just personally over the phone and stuff, but it just makes them feel so much better and they want to keep going. I think that's kind of really all I have. I just think it's really important to just stay on top of people. I know a lot of people, once they get going for the first few months, they kind of lose sight of them and they just kind of let them go. But I definitely think keeping in touch with them over and over again helps. So I hope you guys got something from that. I know a lot of it is stuff that some of you know already, but that's what's worked for me. So thanks.
Awesome, Tara.
Does anybody have any questions for me?
No, but I do want to say something. I want to say something. One of the things that was great, I actually took like 3 pages of notes. Awesome job, Tara. That was really great. And one of the things that Tara is really good at, and one of the things that she really inspires me to think about, is she is very results driven. And so she talked about the goals, and she talked about staying in touch with people, and she talked about the follow-up, and she's very great at that. But she's also really great. Like, look at Pam. And I know, Pam, I don't want to, you're an amazing athlete. It's, you know, I'm not taking away from your athletic ability, but Tara's also great at listening, finding the right products for the person, and then helping them get results, right? Her husband is like #1 CrossFit athlete, right? She's got a whole bunch of CrossFit athletes and other athletes that are ranked at the top in, you know, the Eastern Canada, which is huge. And it's a real credit to Tara because she wants people to get results. And when people get results, they want to stay on the products because they see them working. So, you know, all of these things are great, but I think I just wanted to point that out because you're just phenomenal at doing that as well. And that's a great point to retention. Yep.
Thanks.
I have a quick question.
No, it's true.
I have a quick question for Pam.
Sure.
Pam, just unmute yourself before you talk. But when you started giving it to your kids, like, did you notice anything with them in their behavior? If you didn't, that's fine. Did you notice anything in their behavior, like they calmed down a bit? Did the teacher say anything, or is it a little too early?
my own child?
Yeah, did you say you're giving them to your
Yes,
own kids?
just my daughter. I have one daughter. She's 14, and she just wanted to try it on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And so I let her. I think I might have talked to Tara about it, and she said yes to try. And so Emma does take it, and she's a pretty calm girl anyway. So I mean, you know, I don't think I've seen any difference in her. She just commented to the fact that, you know, she really likes them for breakfast. It keeps her full throughout the morning. She doesn't have to take, you know, have snacks or anything. She's pretty good until lunch.
She mentioned that to you? She mentioned that to you?
Yes, she did.
Oh, that's
yes,
good.
She told me that. Yes. And she comes in her bag, so she doesn't eat them.
Oh, super. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, you're welcome.
Awesome. Well, I just, before we wrap up the call, Tina, were you going to do that? I just wanted to remind everybody about next Tuesday. I know we have a regular call on Monday, but next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please don't miss this. We're just honored to have Susan slide to herself for about 40 to 45 minutes. So budget that for your time. She's going to do a Q&A with us specifically on getting your products paid for. That's it. So it's great for product users, great for customers you've had in your organization for 1 month, 1 year. This is going to be the call to get them on, because it's really about cycling once a week and getting your products paid for. So please make sure to tell everybody in your team, everybody you've enrolled, because this will really be, I think, a great call that we want to make sure everybody's on, giving us momentum going into Raw. So just want to remind everybody about that call. And it'll be the same number as tonight. It's the same Zoom as tonight.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited.
It would be great. Great. Well, say again, Tara. Sorry.
Will I wrap this up?
Yeah, why don't you wrap it up? You finish it up.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for listening. It was good to talk to you, and yeah, I guess I'm gonna see most of you in about a week and a half or so in Toronto. So I'm excited for that. So everybody have a good night. Cool.
Bye.
See ya.
Great job, Tara.
Awesome. Thanks, Tara. Thank you, Pam.
Thanks.
Have a good night, everyone.